So we got my dad here. He's actually bringing over the Beehive for our garden and our homestead. So we're gonna get fresh honey, hopefully. What do you think, next spring?
Next spring.
Sweet. So Dad's gonna tell you a little bit more about the Beehive.
So the bees are going to arrive in a little box tomorrow. There's about 3 pounds of them, which is several thousand bees, and there'll be a queen in there. So today we've been working on getting the hive ready for them. First we have the top here. Under the top there's a board that's got a little groove in it, so the bees will have the option of entering through the top, or they can come through the entrance at the bottom. Because these are bees from a box, we have a feeder in here. And that's what the feeder looks like. So we fill this with sugar water, and the bees will come up through the bottom and be able to get on this screen and take out as much of that as they want. Underneath that is where our box is. After the bees have gotten in here and gotten comfortable, this is where they'll be raising their young. And the little screen on the bottom, because these bees are going to have a queen with them, there's always a danger of the queen leaving the hive. And when the queen leaves the hive, the bees follow. So there's a thing in the bottom called a queen excluder that'll be on here for about 3 weeks so that she can start setting up house in the box. And once I come out and see that she's got the house set up and the cells on the comb are drawn out, then at that point I'll remove that queen excluder, because if it stays in too long, it's bad for the hive because the boy bees can't get out of the hive. All of the worker bees are female bees. The male bees are there and they'll be eating during the summer and going out, but when you put a queen excluder on, it's small enough they get stuck in it. So you can only leave it on there for a short amount of time. So tomorrow afternoon, I'll be showing up and we are going to finish putting the wax frames that will be in the bottom of the hive. I'm going to put wax frames in there, which will help get the bees started. And then I'm going to put the bees right under the feeder box.
Getting ready to plant these by our garden. Got them planted.
Nothing going on here, just me and the bees.
First time ever, we're gonna try watermelon. Tomorrow we're supposed to get a really big rain. That should really help with our garden.
I'm here today just installing the bees here at their homestead. So here's the bee box. I know you guys took a look at this the other day, but there it is with the wax frames in there. Here are the bees. They're in a box. There's 3 pounds of them. I don't know, there's several thousand bees here. I think you can see that. There we have the queen bee. So we're going to be putting them in this box today, and they're going to get some feed. We have sugar water there. The sugar water is going to go inside of this box. I'm gonna spray them a little bit of sugar water because that's going to help make them a little more calm as I do all this. And I'll be checking in, feeding a little bit, and then in a week or so I'll come back, and that little cage, by that time they will have gotten the bee out of the cage. So what's going to happen is you can see the white in one end of that, and that's sugar, and the queen is in there. She's got a green dot on her. I see her crawling by there, and there are 5 helper bees in there for her. And what's going to happen, there's a cork in the end down here, and I'm going to pull that cork out after I get her in the hive. And over a period of several days, the bees that are in that box and the ones that are in this small box, they will eat their way out. They'll eat through that sugar roll. And by the time they do that, the rest of the bees will have accepted her smell, and then she'll become the queen of the hive. And I expect her laying within the week. So now I have the bee box in there, and if you look really close, you can see the queen cage. I took the cork out of the end so that now all they have is in there is the sugar. The next thing is to pop the top here. You'll notice I'm not wearing any kind of protective gear or anything, and I anticipate this to be okay today. You never can tell with bees. We'll see what happens. So that's what the feeder looks like on top. And here we are. We're all done. I'm just going to close them up now. And as you can see, they're flying around me here, and everybody's being real friendly. I'm glad for that. And I'm gonna get out of here before they decide to do otherwise. Say goodbye to the bees for today. See ya. You might remember the queen cage that we installed the other day. That sat on the rack in the hive like that on the frame. I showed you the candy that was in the end, and so you can see now the candy is gone. Queen's been released. She had 5 workers in there. Actually, they call them nurse bees because they're the queen tenders, or the one that take care of her. And you'll see that the bees also started connecting this little box, started connecting it to the hive, which is called burr comb when they do that. So I've had to snatch it out today, unfortunately. But that's what that is. That's the little queen cage, and I'm happy to see it's empty, and I was even happier to see her in there laying today. Here's the hive after I've worked it today, and you see I took the box out that I installed last week. They were already putting wax on it. I'll show you some of that here, which is really not the best thing in the world, because then as you see, the bees are reluctant to leave. But for the most part, these guys have been real friendly today. They're crawling on me and just being nice for the most part. Had one that got up my pants leg and stung me, but other than that, they're doing great. I was in there a lot longer today than I wanted to be. I had trouble finding the queen, and you might remember that I installed the queen excluder the other day on that bottom board to be sure that the queen stays in until she's laying. I couldn't leave that excluder on without finding her, because what if she was on that box? And some of you may be wondering, well, what about the bees that are on that box? Are they going to die? No, the answer to that is virtually all of those bees will end up going in the hive when it gets to be dark. And I was in there a lot longer today than I intended to be, and because of that, bees have gotten a little bit testy. There's one swarming around my head right now, but all good. If somebody shook my house up like that, I'd be upset too.
So we just planted our garden.
Yeah.
I planted some flowers on one of the rows. I planted some zinnias just for fun. As far as vegetables, we planted squash and zucchini, broccoli, cucumbers, tomatoes,
Bell peppers, watermelon. We're gonna
Watermelon.
try watermelon. If we can find pumpkin seeds, I want to put that next in the garden. I kind of want to try it. I think it'd be fun. Getting it ready.
Yeah.
We're almost done.
and believe it or
garden.
not, this was my first garden I've ever planted.
We believe
So,
it. I believe it. I'm just saying.
I mean, like the fact that I have a homestead and I've never planted a garden until now, like I think that's kind of funny.
Well, you always go all out for everything, no matter what.
That's true. Once I say yes to something, it's like head first, all in.
Yeah, but it's a lot of fun, and I've planted gardens my entire life, so this is nothing new. We're just having fun with
Yeah.
it, and we're gonna make mistakes, and y'all are gonna be along for that ride. So,
But hopefully these vegetables make it, and we'll have a lot of vegetables to can and freeze and eat. Definitely want to eat them fresh, as many as we can. We found some tomato cages from my grandma's barn. Those barns just keep giving.
yeah,
The gift that keeps on giving.
it's been a busy day today.
You've been outside since like 4 a.m.
Yeah, because I went turkey hunting this morning. Yeah, drove up to Sanford, hunted with a buddy, saw one turkey fly down, and then it ran off because we spooked it because it decided to fly down at 8:30. And for those of you who don't know, that's insanely late. So, oh well, but
And then as soon as you got home, we were doing farm chores,
literally,
updating, fixing up the chicken coop.
and I'm exhausted.
Then we went to some farms and got the plants to plant.
Yeah, we wanted to support local farms, so we really wanted seeds. It just didn't work out that way because they had plants and only plants, and we wanted to support them as much as possible.
We did get some
So
seeds.
we did get some seeds from
I got
another
some
local place, but they
peas.
only had corn, and that's
Peas and-
another thing that we
peas
still
and
have to
corn.
plant. We still have to plant corn. It's gonna be fun.